And we are back again.
Episode 7.
Episode 7. Dude,
Lucky
we're rolling.
7. We're rolling.
We're fucking rolling, man.
Yeah,
Every Sunday.
We're gonna see how many things we can complain about. You know.
Right. Do you ever run out of things to complain about, like during the week?
Never.
Do you think it's a sign of working on yourself if you have a hard time? Like, what am I upset about? What annoys me this week? And you have a hard time coming up with something. Does that tell you that maybe you're working on yourself?
No, I just think you haven't been paying attention. I mean, all you got to do is get in the car and drive, and you're going to have 17 things that can fucking piss you off at any moment.
Fair.
So, you know, we're going to have our normal What's Annoying Us segments this week, but I have a wild card I'm going to throw at you. So about every other week, we drive down to my hometown about an hour south. My parents.
Where's that?
Ocala is the name of it. And my parents still live there. They still live in the house I grew up in. They are almost 80. And there is only one restaurant they will go to.
Dining. Okay, hold on.
So
he put up a crawl that says dining with geezers, with the geezers.
So this is beyond boomers. Like my parents are actually right on the cusp of the generation, the one before the boomers, the silent generation. Which
the silent, is it the silent generation or the greatest? It was one in the
greatest.
Same, right?
No, greatest was before the silent. Greatest, then silent, then boomer. Then Gen X.
So they are silent generation.
They're silent. Well, my mom is probably a boomer technically. My dad, I think, is silent. Anyway, so they will only go one place in this town. It is this diner. You'd love it, actually. It's a diner that has been there since Jesus was a boy.
I love those.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's super old school. They have like liver and onions and stuff like that.
Okay, hold on. You said your parents and their geezers. Are they like old school Jewish? Like, you know,
No.
Okay.
No, I grew up I'm from North Central Florida. You don't have really old school Jews there. In South Florida you do, but not where I'm from.
Okay. Forgive me for interrupting. Go with your story.
No, it's okay. So we're at we go here about every other week with them, and there's always something entertaining, right? And actually what I'm going to talk about later tangentially is kind of about what I saw there. But I wanted to throw this up on the screen. So this is on the menu. So this is the menu there. So you can get a mug of beer for $2.99, a pitcher for $8.25, and a glass of wine for $3.75.
And hold on, so Dan is putting a picture of this. This is real right now?
This is real. This is right now. Mm-hmm.
You can get a mug of beer for $2.99.
Yep, pitcher for $8.25.
Does that strike you?
God knows what kind of beer that is.
Yeah, I mean, does that strike you as incredibly cheap in this day and age?
Yeah, I know it is, but like this place is like it's really, you walk into this place and it's like time has no meaning. It's like 1982. Right. It's basically 1982 in there.
I love it.
I'm 50, and whenever we go there, we are the youngest people in there.
Oh wow!
To meet mom and dad.
Yeah, I would like that.
Yeah,
so
there's hardly ever a child in there. That's for sure.
That's the best. That's why you like it. Dining with geezers.
Yeah, I do. So I see this on the menu and I start laughing, and I'm like, wow, like I'm not a wine guy, but $3.75
like what is that? What box is that coming out of? Right?
Yeah,
they got a box back. Yeah. Someone ordered the wine.
Yeah, open the box. Yeah, and then beer, draft beer. Okay, so to have it be draft beer, that means they have to have a keg. That means they have to have, you know, a system with the CO2 to dispense from the keg. You know goddamn well that keg is only changed once a week or so.
And the lines. Let's talk about the lines of the draft beer, how infested with bacteria they are.
I used to do this in college. That was my job.
Sure.
I was the keg cooler guy at my fraternity. So like I did this. I cleaned the lines. That was my job. So I know. And if I go to any bar and because I enjoy a beer every so often, if I go to a bar, I can fucking taste that shit. Like I'll say right away, this keg is old. I mean, I won't complain about it or anything.
The lines are bad.
I'll tell the wife the lines are bad. She rolls her eyes every time. But
yeah.
So I just had to throw this out there because I'm like, this is the place time forgot. You can order liver and onions at this place.
Wow. Like, first off, the liver and onions is on the menu, and a lot of people don't even know what that is. It's
it's gross.
It is gross, but I mean, I fuck with it a little, you know, once in a while. I mean, I don't like organ meat. That's gross though, for sure. But I mean, I love these old school diners and stuff, and going out with like where the old people eat like that too. And I'm sure like the dinner crowd is at 3 p.m. right? Like that.
Yeah, we meet them at 4:45 on the dot. Yeah, and if we're
So
late, but Dad gets annoyed.
then it turns into a Ray Stern situation. Like it was a disaster. They were late.
Yeah. But
What is this,
it's really entertaining every time I go there because it's just there's
bro?
always something new. It's like, wow, like this place is just trapped in time.
So what did you order?
I usually they have like a turkey special when we go on Saturdays, which is like your stuffing and your mashed potatoes and your like little plastic, disposable plastic cup of like gelled cranberry sauce.
Oh, I would love that, bro.
Yeah, I know.
I would absolutely order the
They
same
actually have
thing.
homemade desserts, though. The desserts are legitimately pretty good. They actually
Let me ask you
that.
this. Do they have the display that the pies are in? It's like the
Yes.
circular.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know. So you go in and on the side, there's like this circular kind of display, this three-tiered thing, and it turns around, it's glass, and you can see the pies.
Theirs doesn't move, but they have
Oh my God.
that
is the best. People that don't know what this is, man, that's heaven.
Because
then you're eating.
I do love an old diner. This place is a little too geezer ridden. Like it's like, that their sanitation ratings have to be terrible.
Who's working? Who's working? Do they have that window where you can see who's back in the kitchen?
No window, but we always sit kind of by the kitchen, and you can see back there. And also I went in to take a pish during dinner, and like I'm looking at the toilet going, that toilet looked like something in the worst gas station you've ever been in.
Oh my God!
And this is a restaurant, so
some old guy just blasted it, just destroyed it,
and it was like I have a picture. I'm not going to put it up because
Hold on. I'm just glad to know that I'm not the only disgusting male out there who takes pictures.
No,
of poop and toilet, because I do it.
I went into the stall to pee because there was this old geezer at the urinal. So I went into the stall to pee. It was so bad that I was
it like a diarrhea, like watery blast?
I was just amazed. It was like, wow, like this is a restaurant and no one is cleaning it. And it was someone blew it up, diarrhea splattered everywhere. I actually took a picture of the toilet and sent it to the wife while I was in there.
No,
and she was at the table.
Let me tell you something. Women don't appreciate pictures of fecal matter in toilets the way that we do.
No. Well, I mean, I think in this case, it's like, wow, it's good to know this is what we're dealing with. I mean, it's not surprising. This place is nasty, but
that's a whole. I could do an hour on that, but we better not. I mean,
this place, it's one of those places. It's been around since I was a kid. I'm just amazed it's still there, to be honest. But I mean,
do they have corned beef hash on the menu?
Yes.
Nice. Let me guess. As my other menu items are going to be. What are some other geezerish type of things that are on that menu? I'm sure they have a BLT. They got a, do they have a creamed chip beef sandwich?
No, that's not a Southern. You're not going to see that down here.
Yeah.
Definitely yes on the corned beef hash. They have like okra. They have like your veggies of the day, and they're all canned. Like you can tell they're canned.
Oh, sure. You're not getting anything. Yeah, there ain't no.
Like chopped steak dinner.
What are the different kind of omelets they have? They have a Western omelet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They got omelets. Yeah.
I would like this, man.
You would like it. You would.
I would like it.
It's fine. Like the food's not great, but I like the fact there's no kids, and it's like, and it's the place time for God.
Let me ask you this: is it more of a Goy place, or more of a Heeb place, or just like a nice mix? It is.
You got to go Goy because it's in Ocala, Florida, where there's almost no Heebs.
So if there's a meter and Goy is on one side and Heeb is on the other, and it goes like this, the needle is going to aim a little bit more towards Goy.
You don't have a lot of Jews here, though. So like.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people think of Florida, right? Like
Florida's a big state, my friend. South Florida, which is 4 or 5 hours away, is absolutely a lot of Jewish people. Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Palm Beach County, but I'm closer to Atlanta than I am to there.
Okay, so it's definitely more of a Heeb, more of a Goy. More of a Southern Goy type of
Goy
thing.
Central, 100% Goy. Yeah.
Man, I feel right.
You get these old guys going in there with like hats that say veteran on them. You know what I mean? From like
Korea, we'll get to that.
From Korea. No, but not. This isn't like what you're talking about.
These are the old guys. Yeah, the Korea
85-year-old guys.
Yeah,
like you wouldn't be bothered by that.
No, not at all. You know what? Honestly, I kind of fuck with these old. I kind of like them a little bit.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
you know, and they get a pass for if they say some fucked up shit. It's like,
They're
you
80.
know, 85. I'm gonna
Yeah,
like I'll
whatever.
correct the fuck out of someone who's like 65 and who's being a dick. You know, I'm like, okay, no. But if you're 85, it's like, you know, I got one foot in the grave. You
Yeah,
know,
I don't care. I don't
yeah.
care. Yeah,
So
I don't
that's
care.
nice. A nice dining with the geezers.
Yeah.
And did you have a nice dinner with your parents?
It is. Yeah, we were out of there by 5:30.
Yeah. Did you
On
have
the
the
way home.
dessert? You go for
I
the
always have
dessert?
the dessert. I got the apple pie. I love the apple pie.
With did you get it with the ice
Of
cream?
course, I got it with the ice cream. What do you think?
You didn't go full goy and get the fucking slice of yellow cheese on top of it.
No. Ugh.
That's gross.
That is gross.
It is a thing though.
That is gross. That
Yeah.
is gross. So this week, because this is going to dovetail into mine. So this place.
Okay, hold on. What's annoying the Heeb?
Yeah, we're going to go right into what's annoying me this week.
Let's hear.
So
I can't
this
wait.
place is so old school that the tables, that when you sit at the table at this place, there are advertisements for local businesses under like a sheet of laminate.
I
on the
know
table.
exactly what you're talking about. You're forced to look at this.
And these
cacophony.
are the target audience of these ads is people over 75. Okay.
Probably hearing aids are on that thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's one that caught my eye.
Uh-oh. It annoyed
And-
you. All right, here, let me look at it. So Dan just put something up on the screen.
Okay.
Investors.
So I'm going to explain this.
All right, please do.
You're not a real
Explain
estate
it to
guy.
me like I'm 5 because
I know. Well, you're
don't.
not a real estate guy, and I am a real estate guy. So
Okay.
there is a segment of the real estate business that you've probably seen ads for, and it's we will buy your house for cash. If you need to sell, we will buy your house. If you got to get out, you have a bad renter or whatever, you inherited this house, you don't know what to do with it, we'll buy it from you, right? The idea is it's hassle-free. You don't have to list the house. You don't have to show the house. You don't have to clean the house, right? Wow. And which sounds, okay, sounds good, right? So you would think, and so you're obviously selling it cheaper than what market value is, which again, that's expected. But the thing with these people,
you're froze up.
What? You there? Hello?
Uh-oh. So Dan's getting the little circle. You froze up. Are you back, buddy?
Hello.
You froze up. I didn't freeze up. Did you freeze up? Your screen went blank and the little circle
Can
went.
you hear me now?
Yeah, it just happened.
No, I did not. I didn't freeze on my side. That's weird.
I can do. Fix it in post, they say.
Fix it in post. So anyway, it's a service where they will buy your house without any mishigas, meaning you don't have to show it. There's no commissions. There's no nothing, which can be a nice service. It's called wholesaling. That's what we call it in the business, right?
Okay. Yeah.
It is extremely predatory.
Yeah, for sure.
Extremely. And here's why. Okay. These people are not looking. So, okay. Let's say your house, if you listed it on the market is worth, let's just say $300,000.
Yeah, keep it nice and basic. 300.
Let's say it's worth 350. If you put it on the market and you clean it up, you're going to get 350, right?
Right.
Or 300. Let's just say 300.
So 300.
The way these people operate, Bruce, you would think that they would go, I'll tell you what, I'll give you 2.25 because I'm going to turn right back around, sell for 3, and I'm making a quick 75.
Yeah.
No.
How bad is it?
They will offer you 90.
90.
Yeah. I'm telling you, they are not happy unless they're not happy making money. They're not happy unless they're making a shitload of money.
Yeah. They want to put you over a barrel.
And again, in these cases, these are typically people who don't have a mortgage. They inherited the house or they are 90 years old and they just need to get rid of it. And the way these people operate is it's a numbers game. They send out 1 million paper advertisements and mailings, and they go on TV, and all they need is a couple. They don't need that.
Right.
Many. You sell one $300,000 house, and you buy it for 90 and put 40 in it. You're making a 6-figure profit.
Yeah, the whole office is celebrating like we got one. It's like
all
fishing,
you need is a couple a year, and you're doing pretty good, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this, and they're going for we're religious, like redemption, right? But then I'm looking. There's a Bible quote. Proverbs 3:5. So I said, let me look up that Bible quote.
Did you really?
I did.
Okay.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. What that means is don't use common sense. Don't use your brain. Just trust in the Lord.
Yeah.
which is a perfect message for one of these people.
That's amazing. That Joy. Okay, so the ad says all things real estate. It says this woman's name, Joy Forbes.
Yeah. Facing foreclosure, overwhelmed with repairs, need to move quickly. Call us today. Keep your credit in good standing. We no showings, no commission, no repairs, hassle free. And again, there is a place for this. There is. Like if you, let's say you inherit a house and there's really bad tenants and it's a shithole and you don't have the way any.
I don't want to hassle with it. You know, I don't want to deal with.
Let's say you're out of state and you don't have any way to come here and clean it up and it's a real mess.
And you'll take the hit, you know. But
my issue with these people is that
predatory.
Is that it's predatory and that they're not looking to just make a good amount of money. They're looking to steal it. That's the only way they're going to buy it.
This is 100% true. This is happening in all industries.
We got another. This is another guy. He advertises on television.
Did you hold on? Are these the actual ads you took from the tabletop?
No, this wasn't table. This was tabletop. The second one I'm showing is a television ad that I screen capped.
Right.
It's this guy with man boobs and a crew cut.
That's
saying,
nice.
No fees or repairs, and again,
he doesn't have man boobs. He doesn't have man boobs.
He does. Trust me. He does.
Okay.
So. The point is, here's how this works. They run these ads and you're Bruce and you're like, you know what? I want to sell my house, but it'd be great to not have commissions and bullshit, right?
It would work on me. It would work on me because I don't like dealing with this shit. In general, I would, I would take a financial hit just to escape the whole deal.
Yes, but that's the question. You'll take a hit. But so if your house is worth 300, you'd say, tell you what, I'll sell it to you for 250. And you're still. I would
do it. I would pay $50K to not deal with that.
But these people won't do that. They won't offer you 250. They'll
90.
offer you 90 or maybe 110.
That is fucking amazing. Like that is raping them straight up.
And it is, and they know it. But the thing is,
and the old people, they know that the old people aren't gonna. What are they gonna do? They're going, okay.
Again, it's a numbers game. You don't need that many people to agree to this. If you have one every other month. If you have 6 people agree to this in a year,
right,
you're going to clear $500,000.
And it's a weird way of doing business because what if you gave people a more fair, price, and you got more people doing that?
You would get more people, but that's not how they do it.
Yeah, but then to their point, they think it's probably for their business less work because it's less transactions they have to do. Yeah, there's a lot of dry period, but once it's fishing for a big game, once you get one, you get it in the boat. Like you said,
in real estate, they say work smarter, not harder. And again, I get it. And I've been a real estate investor for 20 years. I've done this for a long time. I buy rental properties. I cannot even tell you how many times in my career of doing this, I have won, like if you're bidding on a property, let's say there's a property for sale. I'll tell you a story. 2017, there's a house here in town. It's on an acre. It's a shit show. I mean, it's bad shape. It needs a lot of work. And I forget what it was listed at, but we ended up bidding, Bruce, $44,000, and we won the auction. Not the auction, but we had the highest bid. And because all these people, they weren't even willing to pay 44. That is how bad they are. The house at that time, at that point, might have been worth, fixed up, it might have been worth 100, right?
Yeah.
So they're not willing to pay, like they're not going to pay 44 because then they got to put another 30 in it, and then they're not making enough money. Whereas I'm like, well, shit, I'll buy for 44 and just hold it. Because for 100, that's just going to go up anyway.
These bigger companies want a quick, big, like payoff right off the bat.
Score. Yeah. They're not happy making money. Making money is not good enough. They have to make a lot of money. And
that is horrible. That would piss me off too.
I would say to anyone listening to this, if you're ever in this situation, and I would always say, if you are at all able to do so, put it on the market. Find an agent. I know you have to pay commissions. Commissions are 6%. That's it.
It's not much.
6%. And you are going to do better, especially now, because right now, that's the other thing, Bruce. Now, there was a time not long ago, 15 years ago, where it was hard to sell a house because there was so much for sale. Remember after 08? Whereas now it's the opposite. It's the other way around. There's very little to buy. The reason for that is your favorite people, the boomers, tend to be aging in place. Whereas their parents, the older people, tended to buy a condo. They would get out of their house, downsize, and buy a condo when they were.
The boomers ain't selling their houses.
Boomers are staying put, right?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you have people like our age with a mortgage at like 3.5%, 4%. And it's like, well, I'm not going to sell because then I'm going to have a mortgage at 7% if I rebuy something.
Yeah.
So you have very little to buy. There's low inventory is the phrase. And so it's so easy to sell anything right now. I mean, you may not make a killing. Like if your house is worth 300 and you listed it at 275, you're still going to net in the end 260 something after you buy it, after you sell it. But at least you're getting kind of close to what it's worth, right?
Yeah, and the thing about this ad that you're talking about, I mean, you did a good job of explaining it to me like a 5-year-old, since I don't understand it too much. But the thing that bothers me about this ad is the religious content at the end, and that drives me nuts.
They're basically saying, "Don't use your brain.
Yeah,
just trust me. I'm all good."
It's funny. Like they wrote all things real estate, and they wrote that Proverbs quote, and you went and looked it up, and it's amazing that's why I thought it was going to be different. I thought it was going to be like, but it's trust in the Lord. Let me repeat
it would be something generic.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. That's amazing. That means just like, you know what? Don't listen to your own common sense.
No. Don't
go by your own brain in your head.
That sums up this business, and I'm here to tell you.
Oh my God!
And you'll see. Keep an eye where you live. You'll see it on television. You'll see it on the internet.
Oh, it's a lot like this.
We buy houses. This is what they are. They are looking for the 1 in 1,000 people who will say, "Fine, I don't care. I just want to get rid of it. I don't give a shit. Just give me a check. I don't care what you give me. Just give me a check. I have to be out."
They want out.
Now, like if it's one thing if it's a house that you inherit. I kind of get it, but if it's a pre-foreclosure, if you're struggling, you lost your job and you just have to get out from under a mortgage, right? That's
they're using people's desperation and tough times against them. Mm-hmm. You know, it's big. Yeah, it annoys me. It annoys me. The religious quote annoys me.
It's terrible.
I'm with you.
I've had properties in the past where like we bought them cheap and I wanted to sell for whatever reason I want to sell the house, right? I've pondered calling these people because like I would rather not hassle like you, but I know what they're going to do. It's a waste of my time because I have a house worth 150. Tell you what, I'll give it to you for 120. They're going to offer me 80 tops. Yeah. Tops, right? And it's like you're just throwing money away when all you have to do is call any agent, have them put it on the market. You'll get offers. No, look, you're gonna have to take a hit if it's a shithole, but way better than with these people.
Yeah, it's predatory. I don't like it.
It is very predatory. So I see this ad with this guy almost every day. And every time I see it, I just like my sphincter seizes up, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I think of all the people who call him thinking, oh, fair cash offer, right? And they have a house worth 300 and he's giving them a cash offer of 75. And it's like, and they say, what the fuck? You're wasting my time. He goes, okay, see ya. Because he knows that's just every time you get told no, you're one step closer to that one person who will say yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Numbers game.
They don't need many. They just need a handful.
I can see why that annoys. Anything else annoying you this week, or
no? That was it. I saw that, and I saw that.
I get that you're passionate about it.
I saw that Bible quote, and I'm like,
the Bible quote gets me nuts.
This is amazing shit, though. The Bible quote, like they're just admitting, they're saying the quiet. Like, what do we say? They're saying the quiet part out loud.
Saying the quiet part out loud is definitely something that. Yeah, it's happening for sure.
I just thought that was amazing. So let's move on to you because I have
what is annoying
to talk about, and I have some thoughts of my own. So,
okay. What's annoying the Goy this week? Well, I'll tell you, it's Planet Fitness, and it's not specifically Planet Fitness, but it's going to the gym. Now, look, I don't pretend to be. A super infit guy. No, I'm not. I'm one of these horrible guys. I go to the gym and then I don't go to the gym and I go to the gym. Look at me. I'm not in shape, but I do try to give it a slight try. And and I've been on a good run these past 2 weeks. I've been going to the gym every fucking day. And it's because I've got this fucked up torn meniscus and I like going there for my physical therapy. That's totally me. Yeah, I'm the sloth, So I go to the gym, and so it's a Planet Fitness. And the reason I like this particular gym is because it's 24/7. That's my thing. I will go to the gym at 3 a.m. I love going to the gym dude, and it's close. It's like less than a mile away. I drive there. It's 3 a.m. You can go to the gym. There's fucking no one there. and it's great. And a lot of things that me and you complain about on this show, and the whole reason the Heeb and Goy show exists, is we're complaining mainly about bad human behavior in public places. It tends to be restaurants, tends to be airplanes, airports. The gym is definitely going to be one of these places where bad human behavior in public manifests itself to its worst form.
Oh yeah.
And I go to the gym, and like we talked about last week, like we will fixate on bad human behavior. When we're out in public in a restaurant and we see someone behaving badly, it will fixate it 100%. And luckily Ro doesn't like going to the gym. I go to the gym by myself. So I go to the gym by myself, and I wear headphones like this because I don't like earbuds. I don't know, for some whatever reason. So the headphones work. You can block out hearing a lot of annoying conversations, and so, but it doesn't, like, I almost need to go in there. I wish I could have getting to the point where I need to wear like blinders, like headphones and blinders. I don't want to see that. I certainly don't want to see that. He's showing a picture right now.
I collected a bunch of pictures of bad.
Yeah, he's showing pictures of like
it's a mixture of bros and then girls,
gym bros and really hot chicks
taking selfies. Yeah,
taking selfies, like showing off their absolutely perfect ass.
Yeah,
just fucking gorgeous.
Yeah,
and but I have a list things that are annoying me at the gym. So I go to the gym, and you can put away the picture for now because you don't probably have a picture for this. But I go to this. Okay, so I'm on the rowing machine. And behind me are these two women who are probably 45 years old. They go to the gym together. And it was a day I didn't bring my headphones. I don't bring my headphones every day because sometimes the headphones like get in the way or whatever. And it's like, whatever. I'll risk it and not bring the headphones, I'm on the rowing machine, which I like. It's fun. And then like right behind me is an elliptical machine. So these women are towering behind me. These two 45-year-old women. And I can hear every word they're saying. And now I'm fixating it because I don't know. Look, I'm probably get like slammed in the comments or whatever, but you get women together. It's yapping, dude. It's the yapping, right? Yap. Sure. So, and it's something that I call recreational yapping. I'm in there working out, and there's like people, of course, people are allowed to talk in the gym. Of course, they're having conversations. Sometimes I'll hear people having little conversations at the gym, and that's fine. I'm talking about when you get two 45-year-old old women together and they're right next to each other working like this, the kind of talking that it is, there are no breaks. It's a lot like The View or, like these women shows where they're talking. So this one woman is talking, bah, 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 did you hear about Joy? And then the other one starts talking, yeah, bah, 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 and it overlaps. I'm talking,
it's almost like Joy Behar is right behind you.
It's a Joy Behar thing.
Yeah.
And there's no breaks in the conversation. So I'm working out. But now I'm not even working out because I'm listening to this sort of speech, not really so much what they're talking about, but it's the speech pattern I'm noticing. It's like one is talking, and then her point gets overlapped by another point talking, and then it goes back and forth, and it's this unbroken chain of and I'm keeping. And I know I get on the rowing machine, I do a solid 25 minutes of rowing on the 5 setting. It's not great. It's just very, whatever. They yapped with not a single break for the entire 25. I was astounded. I'm like, oh my God.
What were they talking about?
So they're talking about, like I said, they're talking about their sons, their daughters. Nathan is dating a new girl this week. I'm not so sure about her. Oh, she's Becky's son. Yes, it's really just vapid fucking, it's not even something fun to listen to. Like, oh my God, maybe they're spilling the tea. Cause I like when they're talking about, some other person and it's like interesting, you know what I mean? But this was just vapid. They're just competitive yapping. It's just talking, whatever. So that's number one that annoys me at the gym. Number two, it's these, it's the guys with the phones. I know we talk a lot about the people with the phones. People with the phones is a subject of our podcast. But what the problem is, it manifests itself in a very bad way at the gym. Because the gym, if there are people in there, there's always machines. Dan, you go to the gym, right? Do you ever go to the gym? So you've been in a gym.
I used to go regularly, but not
okay.
Yeah.
So you know how they have like these machines that people use? Like there's free weights and then there's machines. And the machines are great because they're good for low impact people, like old people like me who don't want to fucking hurt something. So there's leg press machines, there's like things, different machines. And so, okay. So the way these machines work, you're supposed to get on the machine and do like 3 sets of 10. And in between the set, you're supposed to take a 30 to 1 minute break where you just sit there and you let your muscles recoup.
Sure.
30 to anyone that does fitness will tell you 30 to 1 minute.
Yeah.
Okay. Which would be fine. Sometimes there's crowded and you're waiting to get on a machine, you know, and you're like, oh, someone's doing their sets in the machine, and they're and if you look at a person,
you can tell.
You look at them, you're like, you can tell
if they're resting or if they're dilly-dallying.
So thank you.
Okay.
So here's the thing, and this drives me nuts. So, and I will get again fixated. I'm working on a machine. I see that there's a dude on that machine. That's what I want to go next. And I see that they're doing their reps and they're taking a break. What happens is they take their break and they get on their phone. And you and I both know how time passes when you start fucking around on your phone.
Oh, so it goes
you know
from
what I'm
30 to
saying?
45 seconds to 3 minutes.
5, Dan. I time these motherfuckers. I have a timer on my phone. I'm fixating so bad on this dude. I'm doing my thing.
Wait a minute. This is at 3 in the morning?
Sometimes I don't go at 3 in the morning.
Okay.
This doesn't happen too much at 3. I go at all different times. This is a time where like 6 p.m. there's going to be. So now I'm like, I got my timer on my phone. I'm like, I don't really like this dude. What's going on here? He's getting on his phone during the rest period. It's went up to 6, 7, 8 minutes long. They're on their phone. People are waiting to get on this machine, whatever. Now, of course, this annoys the hell out of me. I'm not going to say anything. No one wants to be the cop. No one wants to be the bad guy.
No.
The lowly paid employees are certainly not going to do anything. And that annoys me. And Planet Fitness is funny because they had this whole thing. I don't know if you know or not, but they got this thing called the lunk alarm. You know about this?
I have a whole rant for you about Planet Fitness.
Okay, good. So, but let me say this. So when I joined this gym, I said, hey, is this the place? Because I used to be in EOS, a different gym. So this place has the lunk alarm. I was like fucking around with the employees. I'm like, does this place have the lunk alarm? You know, that big yellow button? What's that for? And they were like, sort of like, yeah, we have that, but we don't really use it anymore. I'm like, what does that even mean? I mean, I could see it on the wall right there. It says the lunk alarm. It's got this big sign. It says, if you're dropping weights, if you're like, you're doing stuff like that, and you're making a production and you're dropping weights, whatever. Apparently you hit the lunk alarm and the employees will come out of the woodwork to correct bad human behavior.
Right.
It doesn't happen anymore. The guy told me as much. He goes, it's up on the wall. He goes, we disconnected it. You hit that alarm right now. It's not going to make any noise. I'm like, really? That was the whole selling point of this gym. He's like, and the guy was honest with me, which I appreciate. He goes, it caused a lot of problems.
Yeah.
It caused a lot of problems for people like not liking what other people do and correctives. He goes like, you know what, pretty much you really have to. Because I said, how bad do people have to be fucking up and causing problems for you to actually get involved? He's like, oh my God, we don't want to get involved. He goes, they pay me $12 an hour. I just want to sit here, scan IDs. I'm not going to be involved, whatever. So the lunk alarm, what are you going to do? You're going to hit the lunk alarm because someone's fucking playing on their phone too much? And it just basically.
That's all. Okay. No. Yeah. I agree with you on that. The idea behind the lunk alarm is fucking stupid, which I will talk about when I talk about.
But let me go ahead, finish your point, and then I got one more point.
I am with that etiquette that you're describing. That is fucking awful. I mean, yeah.
Right, they're sitting on the phone. And look,
I'm guilty of it. Can do. You are trapped. There is nothing
trapped.
You can do.
You're trapped.
The guy would just say, "Hey, I'm just between sets," and you're like, "Well, yeah, but it's been 5 minutes." But then he's like, well, "Fuck off," you know. And then you just
But then there's this other terminology that I learned in the gym world. Is like, "Hey, can I get a work in?" And I didn't. I'm like, "What does that even mean?"
I know.
So I didn't even know what this is. So that means like if you're using this machine and you take a break, some other dude's going to get a work in, and then you go back and forth.
Hey, can I work in, bro? Yeah.
And it's because I think people do this thing where they do a workout thing where they rotate between.
It's called
I didn't say, okay, you know more than I do. I'm like, okay, the guy's doing a superset.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I get it. I don't like it, but I'm like, all right, which is why I start going at 3 in the morning.
You're trapped in that situation because you can't really say no. It's not unreasonable, but it's annoying. Like
it's annoying.
When I used to go to the gym, I just want to be left the fuck alone.
Everybody wants to be left alone.
I had my headphones in. Leave me alone. I would pick stuff to do that had the least chance of somebody asking me to work in or something.
Yeah, and it was why I go at 3 a.m. as often as I
Well,
can.
yeah, that
I
solves
know
the problem.
it's the best. 3 a.m. is the fucking best. And so another thing they got this little station that says cleaning stations, right? They've got us fucking conditioned now that like before and after we use the machine, you're supposed to get this bottle of spritzer stuff and there's paper towels, cleaning stations. They're everywhere. These bottles are everywhere. You're supposed to wipe down the equipment after you use it, right? Please wipe. They got a million signs around everywhere. Don't do this. Please respect this. Don't stay on a machine too long. Please wipe down these machines. And they're trying to use signs to correct people's bad human behavior in these gyms. Nobody listens to the sign.
No.
That's another thing I do. I see a sweaty guy, a really fucking sweaty guy. He's still on one of the machines. He's got his wet, sweaty head on this machine. He's fucking using it. He gets up. He leaves. He leaves all his fucking. It's gross. I skeeve out at it, Dan,
Smegma.
to use a Yiddish term.
Yeah.
So they leave all this sweat on. He gets up and leave, and like. So I now I'm fixating on people even more. I'm like, look at all these people. That guy didn't clean the machine off. That guy didn't clean the machine off. That woman didn't clean the machine off. No one's cleaning the machine off. I clean the machine off and I do it with a vengeance now where they're like, I look, I got a prop. I look at other people now. So I'm like, I will use a machine and then I spritz it off and I'm like,
you're like,
I look dead at the guy. I look dead at the guy. I do. I'm like, yeah, I'm cleaning the machine.
Yeah, right.
It's called being a fucking basic good human being, and it's what you're supposed to do. So that's another thing. And when my last point about, so that drives me nuts. And the last point is, put up the picture of the hot chick in the gym. Put up that picture. I know you got the pic. So okay. So I talked about these like 3 or 4 things that annoy me about the gym. This is another thing. So there's a lot of this going on. Not so much in my gym. It went on at EOS, which is the old gym by Arizona State, you know. Mm-hmm. But like this goes on a lot. And so some gyms are moving to this thing of like, look, no cameras allowed in the gym. They're tired of this shit, right? Mm-hmm. Because this causes problems. There's a whole subgenre of videos on TikTok and YouTube where it's women shaming men for bothering them during their workout.
I have seen this. Yeah.
And so look, I get that it's a real problem that men will bother chicks while they're working out because they don't want to be bothered and want to get their workout, respect their privacy. Got it. I'm telling you, these chicks are setting these things up to create the video, to catch a guy like a trap and then to shame him.
It's like Chris
online.
Hansen with a fake 11-year-old.
Yeah. And so now because of this, I'm fully aware of this. And thank God there's pushback. There's a guy named Joey Swole who does a whole series of videos where he shames these women right back. You know, he defends the guys. He's like, look, this guy, and this is a great guy. He's not a lunkhead, you know?
Right.
He's like, look, honey, this guy just asked you he's like, he wasn't staring at you. Come on, do better. And so there's a whole thing of like, not only just filming yourself, like if thank God I rarely see this. I rarely see people filming themselves. And trust me, when I do, I won't go anywhere near it. I don't want to be in the background and whatever. I don't want to be caught in one of these traps. Mm-mm. But it's also these women that are and it's kind of a bad thing that says about our society where like you can't really meet people in public anymore. Like they're used I know you don't like small talk, but I do kind of like when I'm in the gym having little moments of conversation with guys and girls, all kinds of people. Where I'm in there by myself, I'm a social creature, and pepper it in, Dan. I don't want to be the competitive women yapping in the background, but like I went over to go get a paper towel and the machine wasn't working and had a little funny moment with a guy and a girl like, hey, that machine's empty. And I'm like, no, it's not. You got to turn the little thing there. Oh, I couldn't even see that. I'm like, yeah, I just learned it the other day. Conversation over. We shared a little chuckle. It was a little moment, a nice human moment. I enjoyed it. But on the whole, if I see a woman, go to the other picture of the chick with the nice ass. Okay, there's a chick with, okay. So you see this going on. And of course, women are allowed to wear what they want and, don't bother women when they're working out. I couldn't be more on board. Couldn't be more on board. I mean that honestly. I don't want to turn out to be like one of these incel dudes
you shouldn't bother anyone. Women, man, fucking
don't bother. But especially,
women
definitely have a problem with unwarranted dudes coming up to talk to them, try to hit on them. And there's this
I mean,
new,
what kind of look? Are we talking about situations where they're actually hitting on them, or is it, hey, do you mind if I grab this weight or whatever?
So here's the problem, and this is the problem. There's a line. There's absolutely, dudes that are coming up and hitting on women, and they don't want to be a part of it, and that's valid. Then there's the other. It's gone to the other spectrum where it's a grayscale. It's like, hey, can I grab this weight? Don't talk to me. And so where is it? Where does it fall on bad human behavior, or you just? And so a lot of women have put out this thing where, like, look, don't. There's this thing out there. It's like, just don't talk to women in public. Don't talk to strange women in public ever about anything, right? And that's their new thing that they're on. And I'm not for it or against it. It's just like, and I respect it, Dan, 100%.
Look,
don't talk to strange women.
What if you legitimately have a question like, hey, you mind if I grab this weight? Or, hey,
you're not supposed to talk to them.
Come on.
You're not. So, I mean, but here's the thing. And I get it where maybe they're so annoyed with dudes talking to them that's maybe it's an overcorrective swing where it
is an overcorrective swing. That's my point. And I just think at a certain point, it's like, look, I mean,
but look, I'm an ugly old guy.
Look, I don't want to talk to anyone.
Maybe if I'm this chick, I don't want me, if I'm this chick, I don't want me coming up to ask me if that weight, just fucking leave me alone. So here's my point I was going to say, and then I'll move on. It's like, if I'm at the gym working out and this chick is like on a machine, whatever, I will go through ungodly lengths to give such a wide berth and to not look. I will look at if she walks right in front of me, and if I'm working out on the row machine and this is right in front of me, I'm doing this. I'm literally doing this. It looks, I'm sure it looks odd. Like if she looks at me or someone else is looking at me, it's going to be pretty apparent that I am doing whatever I can to not look. And then I was working on the rowing machine and I'm like looking this way and she comes walking out this way and now she's in front of me. And I quickly look that way. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to.
No, I'm with you on that. That part I get. You don't want to be that rando creep.
I don't want to be that rando. And I get that the women will say like, look, there's a way. Then there's like this pushback from them. Like, how come I can't meet people? Like I'm single and I need to meet a guy. Oh my God. I had a friend on Facebook, Dan, who wrote this whole long thing about she's an attractive woman and she goes to the gym. She's like, there's this attractive guy. I go to the gym and I want to see if we can talk together. I want to see if I'd love to go out on a date with this guy. And so she was just constantly like day 2, trying to get this guy to notice me. Day 3 of trying to get this guy to talk to me. And it's funny because the guy is on the same page I am. He's like, nope, I'm not doing it. And I'm watching this whole dilemma, and she's posting about like, gee, what is it with guys? I'm like, honey, you got to make the first move. You got to walk right up to that guy and be like, hey, I see you around here. Would you interested in getting some coffee with me? Done. That's all you got to do. Like she wants to play these games with this guy to try to like, hey, give him a little smile. And so he comes over and stuff. And I get that there's like a craft to that. But I think in general, guys are like, I don't want to fuck with this anymore. No. It's just too, it's like a minefield. You know what I mean? And like, I 100% like, look, I get it. If I'm this chick, I don't want dudes talking to me at all. But at the other end of the spectrum, it's like, it's affecting it to where us guys are like, I'm not talking to anyone in the gym.
Let me give you a little.
That's my rant. Look, I don't want to come off as an incel or anything like that.
You're trying to avoid making people feel weird.
I don't want to, like we talk about all the time, I don't want to make people uncomfortable. No. And if looking at them makes them uncomfortable, and if that's the new rule in 2023, I'm going to abide by it 100%.
No, that's all fine. But I just need to give you a few. So what you may not realize, looking at me, I am quite familiar with all of these things. The reason I'm familiar with it is that since about 2009, I've actually I wrote some fitness software, basically. And so I was exposed to the world of like these bodybuilding competitors and gyms and all that stuff. So I'm very well versed in this. Okay.
Wow.
And Planet Fitness is like their target demo.
Careful.
First of all, it's not a serious. It's not a serious place for serious weightlifters. First of all,
Should explain what you mean by that to the podcast
So,
audience.
Serious weight people who really want to work out with weights and lift, like maybe
you mean competitive bodybuilders?
No. Let's not even include them. Let's just talk about anyone who wants to do basic Olympic lifts like deadlifting and squatting.
Free weights.
These are free weights or a barbell. Yeah. And like just standard stuff. Like I'll give you an example. Planet Fitness, Bruce, does not allow those lifts. If they see you deadlifting, which is just a regular Olympic lift that is normal, if they see you deadlifting, you're not allowed.
You're right. I have seen this. It's some sort of rack contraption.
No. That's a Smith machine. You're not going to deadlift. No. Most serious people who deadlift aren't using that. They're using a free barbell with.
Yeah. I've never seen anyone use a free barbell at Planet Fitness.
Because it's Planet Fitness. That's why.
But is it because it's more dangerous? They could hurt themselves and they don't want litigious.
I mean, that might be part of it, that they probably have some insurance adjuster who said to them, hey, we know that places with free barbells and bumper plates have 67.2% more likely to have. I mean, that may be. Right. But the reality is this, the lunk alarm and their rules against lifting, it's not a place. So you're not going to see, like we were talking earlier about the gym bros, put up the picture of the gym bros. The gym bros. Yeah. Those guys are not going to Planet Fitness. You know what? You're right. I don't like those guys either. I don't like gym bros. All I'm saying to you is that Planet Fitness in the fitness industry is a punchline. It's a place that has pizza, that has free pizza, that caters to the January 1st New Year's resolution crowd. I know this. You're not wrong. Caters to the overweight people who join the gym and never go. And that's who they are. And whatever. Okay. And I'm in this crowd. And that's unfortunately. Look at me. What am I? Am I fucking? Look, we're both a mess. I'm a mess. I'm not saying I'm better. All I'm saying is it's not a serious place. So it's really more. I'm going to agree with you on that. When you first brought it up, I'm like, I don't know. Chicks on the treadmill, chicks on the fucking Stairmaster. And that's cardio is fine. If all you want to do is cardio, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, a place is heavy cardio. It's lines of ellipticals. And then I noticed I went on like a Friday night. I went on fucking Friday night around 9 p.m. I'm thinking, who the fuck's going to be there Friday night, 9 p.m.? Yeah, I was shocked. You know who was there? Fucking high schoolers. They were high schoolers who were just like, you could tell they were like groups of people because there's nowhere else. What are you going to do in Mesa, Arizona? If you're a high schooler, what are you going to do? So they go to the gym and they talk. There's a lot of talking. They all hang around one machine, whatever. It's a lot of BS. It's tough, right? You have to choose your poison, right? Yeah. Would you rather the Planet Fitness crowd? I went on too long for the Planet Fitness thing. Would you rather the Planet Fitness? Like if you're going to a gym, if I were going to go to a gym again, would you rather the Planet Fitness crowd or would you rather the serious lifters? I'd actually rather the serious lifters. It's not me. I'm not one of them, but I find them way less annoying. They're there. They have I like Planet Fitness. The serious lifters. No, I don't mean fucking the guys I put up. I'm talking about actual people. They go in there. They know what they're doing. They do it correctly. They're trying. There's no gym like that. What gym is like that? Oh, we have a few of them here. They're there. The chains are all going to be Planet Fitness. No. These are typically not going to be chains. The one like here in town that I would go to if I were to go to a gym is it's like a North Florida chain kind of, but it's not national. Like if you go to any national chain, is going to be like it's going to be. Yeah, I think it's all about insurance. It's all about insurance. Yeah, but again, not everyone doing deadlifting or any kind of Olympic lifts is some joker who's trying to make noise and like they're serious people a lot of the time and this is what they do. And I'm told by the expert in the other room, deadlifting and squatting are not Olympic lifts. Okay. Not Olympic lifts, but like clean and jerk, stuff like that. Yeah. Those are Olympic lifts. And again, that's not me. I'm not doing that shit. I just go there because my knee is fucked up, and then you're a cardio guy. You're not. I'm a cardio. They call us cardio queens. I go in there. I'm a cardio queen. Cardio bunny. Fucking cardio bunny is what we call it. What's wrong with being a queen, Dan? Nothing. I'm
So I'm a
call them bunnies. They're called bunnies.
So I'm in there, I'm doing the cardio, and then I do, stuff for my knee because it's fucked up. And then I'll do some other things, whatever. And that's why I noticed, I just wanted to sum up. It's like the dudes on the phones waiting what they should be, getting off the fucking machine. There's the recreational yapping with just nonstop talking. So you could talk in the gym fine, but Jesus Christ, there are other people in there. And then the chicks parading around in these outfits, which they're allowed to do. But if you're going to fucking film it and try to catch me in the background looking, you ain't going to catch me.
No.
You ain't
That's another reason I'm glad. I mean, I that would be a tough road for me to navigate. I haven't gone it's
what
like,
does it say about society that you can't look at another human being anymore?
Look.
Like, just look. Like,
right.
and I got like, there's a difference between old ugly guys like us ogling at some hot chick's ass, or rather than just look at like a glance to look at them. And that's what they're going to try to catch you in a glance, freeze frame you, blast you online, and be like, look at this creep. And that's my nightmare. If I ever get like, I would like jump off a fucking bridge and be like, oh my God. Because I know I'm not that guy. I try so hard to be, a good guy.
My advice to you would be, and I know
go at 3 a.m. That's the advice.
That is good. That solves your problem. But then also, again, you're going to laugh. But if you go to a more serious weightlifting gym, you're not going to get people like that. This
gym was running a deal, Dan.
Yeah, but then that's the other thing. You get what you pay for. Like the cheaper the gym, the worse the client.
Well,
I get it. But it's like anything else in life. I mean,
I don't want to go on. Look, we're already at 50. I don't want to go on too much about the gym. What else we got?
No, we've covered me. We've covered you. We did the geezer dinner.
Yeah, but I want to talk about grunt style a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, let's put that up.
This dovetails into the gym.
Okay.
There's a brand of t-shirts out there, a brand of clothing out there called Grunt Style. You might have seen it around.
I've never heard of this, but I take it.
You've never seen the shirt?
I mean, I've seen this kind of stuff, but I didn't know that. I didn't know.
You're gonna notice it. See the logo on the sleeve that says Grunt Style, and it's got 2 like rifles crossed like that.
Okay, I never noticed it.
Okay, it's a brand of clothing like would be like Izod or Stussy or whatever.
Oh, I got you.
But Grunt Style is a brand of clothing that caters, they say, to patriots and veterans and stuff like this.
Okay.
But I walk around, and when I see so many dudes at the gym wearing this fucking shirt.
Which is ironic because no real man goes to Planet Fitness. No offense.
Oh, damn. That's problematic statement. All right, I'm gonna just let that. I'm gonna
let me rephrase.
Dan, I'm gonna let that statement just slide. I'm not even gonna give you a chance to fucking respond.
Can I rephrase?
All right, whatever.
If your goal is to be Mr. Manly macho dude, Planet Fitness is not really the place for you.
I'm not gonna disagree or agree with that statement. Dan, I'm not gonna disagree or agree with that statement. I'm not manly. I'm not even going to get into that.
Ask anyone in the fitness industry, and they will concur. But anyway,
okay,
go ahead.
I'll just let that slide. Water for ducks back.
All right.
So I'm at the gym. I see like people wearing this shirt, this brand of shirt, and there's lots of different sort of logos they have. A lot of them are very much pro-gun. You're going to see a lot of Punisher skulls. You're going to see a lot of thin blue line. The one in the lower left-hand corner is like this sort of like almost like straight up Christo-fascism kind of a thing where it's like the flag superimposed with the cross. There's a lot of this, but it's a lot of like guns and tough guy shit. It's a lot of like work harder. You don't get shit for free. Like, there's a whole line of designs that Grunt Style has.
Right.
And so you see a lot of these shirts there, and I'm lifting weights, and it's always the Grunt Style logo is on the right side, and then there's always an American flag. So I see a guy coming in wearing an American flag on a shirt. It's a red flag right off the bat. I'm like, oh my God.
Too worked up about this. So like, I
don't. No. Look, if you're allowed to say real men are not working out at Planet Fitness, I'm allowed to say.
I rephrased it. I'm saying that if macho is your thing, that's not the macho gym. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Well, macho in this day and age.
I hate macho. I'm not defending it.
A lot of people aren't even going to know what that means anymore, Dan.
I'm the least macho man on earth.
What does it even mean anymore? But anyway, so I'm there, and I see a lot of these guys with this shirt right there. And yeah, I'm like, oh man. And look, to be fair, I'm not even saying the former guy's name. I'm not even saying MAGA hat, nothing. I'm saying these shirts, which are the Punisher skulls, and yes, it's a heavy overlap. But it's funny because I ranted about this on my Facebook page the other day, and I've got a lot of different Facebook friends from different walks of life. And it was interesting, Dan, because I had a lot of veterans come in the comments section and be like, hey, bro, I'm a veteran. Let me tell you, I fucking hate this shirt. I fucking hate everything about this because it's performative and it's like,
yes, that's exactly
and it's a lot of like the veterans were saying this. They're like, I bet 90% of these guys, and it's not like you need to be a veteran to wear this shirt. I found a lot of chatter online about it.
I would bet.
Do you have to be a veteran to wear grunts? No, you don't.
I would bet money 90% of the people wearing
90%. And they're also calling it like this
they went to basic and it was just,
it's Coast Guard.
Yeah.
So they went to like
right.
So a lot of people are saying like, oh, this is like veteran cosplay. These are like guys, this is like straight up veteran cosplay that they wear these shirts. And you'll see like these guys wearing, if I charge into battle, you will follow me or I will die fighting. Like crazy shit on the back of their shirt. And it's like, dude, you're in a Costco, relax. I know. So like it drives me nuts, like this whole sort of, and their whole personality. So now when I go to and of course I like to be, all right, I'm a bit of a problem. So I'm at the gym and I see guys wearing these shirts and stuff like this. And I start thinking, I'm Googling, like, what can I wear in here to piss these dudes off? You know what I mean? So I'm now researching shirts that will absolutely cause problems with these guys at the gym. I want to let them know I'm going to represent the other side of the spectrum, right? Just to sort of cause problems in the gym. So I'm like researching, like there's this great shirt that shows the trans flag and a gun that says like defend equality. And just roll in there wearing that. What's up, dude? Yeah, what's up? You know, just like, see what they do and see what they say. This becomes their whole personality. And what's also disturbing is, I talked about the other night when there were teenagers in there. There was a good amount of teenagers, really young kids, wearing these shirts. And I was like, oh no, I didn't, like fucking crazy. The Punisher skull with the thin blue line, bro. Come on, man.
So we're in a weird era now. Where
Dan, but I don't want to talk politics too much. I'm just saying I'm
not going there.
I don't like this. I don't like this brand of shit. There,
but we're in a weird era where people are sort of gravitating towards a tribe of some kind. And I reject that at its face.
I know you do. I know you do. I know that about you.
And my attitude is, I'm not even referring to politics per se. I'm referring to kind of this identity thing where
it becomes a personality.
Where if you are into one thing, it means you have to be into these other three things. And you may not be into the other three things, right?
But it's common that they overlap. It's common.
It can be common organically, but it's just this weird group think. My whole thing in life is independent thought. I like independent thinkers. I don't care what your politics are if you're an independent thinker. If you happen to believe this shit and we disagree, that's totally fine with me as long as you're an independent thinker and you aren't getting a download from corporate media or from some talking head or whatever. I just like people who think for themselves. And so a lot of this, and again, I would consider myself to be pro-gun in the sense that I think people should have the right to own them.
I think the podcast audience needs, let me interject. They need to know that Dan and I are very much pro-gun.
Yeah,
very much.
I don't get this because
I don't understand. Yeah,
I'm not into guns that way. I own a gun. But I'm not a gun guy.
And it's fine if you could be an enthusiast. No, but I get it. But there's people that look, I try to like always think devil's advocate and like, what am I annoying about? If these guys are annoying about guns, I'm definitely annoying about Wasteland Weekend. I'm annoying about going to the desert.
I can't throw stones. I love 80s and 80s heavy metal, and I'm wearing a Wasp shirt.
There are things I'm annoying about soccer. I get it. Like there are things
people would look at me and go, "Dude, really 80s metal?"
So I have to be honest and point that laser focus of annoyance at myself sometimes, right? But that said, I mean, this is our podcast. I'm allowed to put up what I don't like. I don't like these fucking shirts, and I don't like the people that are fucking wearing them.
Ask yourself, wow, so I didn't know this. There's a specific brand that caters to this that is popular. Now ask yourself, okay, somebody is making money.
Oh, yeah.
Coming up with
this brand is doing well, Dan. This brand, I'm surprised.
Ask yourself, again, follow the money, and ask yourself, wow, this isn't like Dan going out and finding a wasp shirt. There's not like some dude in the sky making millions of dollars selling wasp shirts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with this, and this is true of many different things, not just guns, but with this, it is a thing. It's a thing. It's like,
It is.
you ever see that meme, I support the current thing?
Yeah,
It's kind
yeah.
of like that, but in a different way. And like, I feel about this no differently than I feel about the people with the Ukraine flags or whatever else, who sort of aren't thinking independently, really. It's more like, yeah, that's my team. This is what
Well,
we
that's
do.
true, but you don't know. Like, if someone's wearing a Ukraine flag, you know,
Well, if they're
like,
from
yes,
Ukraine, then it's different. But I mean, like,
or I
you
mean,
know,
they might not be part of the group that you're talking about. Maybe they are independent thinkers. Like, of course, it's the majority, but how would you know without talking to them who's who? Like, and
stereotype,
granted, to say to one of these guys, like, how would I know
because
that one of these?
stereotypes are fun time savers. That's why.
Well, yeah, they're fun
And
time savers.
you
Yeah.
show me a dude, you show me a person with a Ukraine flag on their house, and the chances of them not being kind of what we say is an NPC, a non-player character, is small. And it's the same thing with this. I wouldn't put this in any different category.
Same thing with this. Like, I see a guy like this, and he looks, and he's got like the big beard and cut short on the side, and he's like, I know this guy, his beliefs are not going to align with mine. I know that this guy.
Well, I don't care if someone's beliefs align with mine. What I care about is that it's not somebody who I can predict 100% of what they think just by looking at them. That's what I don't like.
To me, it's annoying. It's like you know what? Like, this just bothers me.
All of it annoys me. All of it. That annoys me. But then so do the fucking people. You know what I mean. Like, I'm trying to think. Oh, the signs in front of the house. In this house, we believe. Like, it's like, shut up. It's just stereotype, brainless bullshit. Like, just tropes and fucking slogans. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
You're not helping anyone. And like this, it's like, for me, I just don't get it. I'm pro-gun. I think you should have a right to own a firearm, but like, really, that's your thing? Like,
you should see some of that. By the way, this company does so well.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised you don't see it out in Arizona. Like, everywhere I look, I see guys wearing these shirts, and a lot of them are like the veterans said on my Facebook page, they got a real problem with it. Actual veterans who are free thinkers.
Well,
like,
yeah, of course, because they fought in real wars. They fought in real wars. They saw.
And the real cool veterans that you talk to would never fucking wear this kind of shirt. No. You know what I mean? Like, they're like the cool ones would never fucking wear this shirt, walk around.
If you've seen war, real war, like real, you're not going to get in a boner about it. Come and get it.
Yeah, dude. You know, these are guys that just.
And again, it doesn't mean you're anti-gun or anything like that. It just means, again, like you made a really good point. I'm sitting here in a wasp shirt. Some guy out there is going to see me walk around and be like, "Come on, man."
Well, Dan, I always every time we do this podcast, I take a shower before the podcast. I think about what I'm going to talk about, but then I also think about from the point of someone listening. What am I going to be a dick about? Like, oh, Bruce, how dare you? You know, you take the other point. Like, Bruce, we all follow you on Facebook. We know it's very annoying. You talk about Wasteland all the time. You talk about fucking this all the time. It's annoying. That's your thing. So how could you be about this thing?
What I like about that, though, Bruce, just from my angle, is that Wasteland Weekend is so unique. And so you cannot... Like, you show me someone who goes to Wasteland, and I cannot tell you what their other 10 beliefs are, because it's probably an extremely diverse group, first of all, that goes to that. Yeah. And these are people who, to me, like, that's not something I would want to do personally, but I look at that and I respect it, because that to me seems like a person who's doing what they really want. It's not performative. It's not bullshit. And
it's very authentic. I will tell you that.
And that's authenticity is really what I ask. That you nailed it. Authenticity. Yeah. If you're getting your beliefs from corporate media or from a news person or a talking head, or because you feel like you have to fit in, that's not authenticity. You know?
Right. And I mean, I'm cool with authenticity too. Like, you know, in some sort of weird way, if you're going to be, I don't know if I should say this, but like sometimes there's a guy who's like a super racist, you know what I mean? And they'll try to like dance around it and stuff like this. But then if that same guy says, "Yeah, I'm a racist," whatever, I'm like, "Oh."
But what if they're like, "I'm a racist, but I love Mad Max."
Yeah,
you're like, "Oh, you know,
okay." So I used to drive my Mad Max truck around, right? That picture of the truck, you know, that I have. It's a big Mad Max truck, and on the back in spray paint, said Valhalla, big letters, because that's part of the Mad Max movie.
Sure.
This is a true story. I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's something that happened and it bothers me to this day. It's 2 a.m. I'm driving this truck. This is years ago. It's 2 a.m. I'm driving this truck down the highway out here in Arizona, and a car passes me and gets in front of me. Dan, I'm getting chills just thinking about it because how awful it was. The guy starts Sieg Heiling out his fucking window. Like, he saw the word Valhalla.
Valhalla is like a Nordic thing. That's like,
but Valhalla,
like
the Nordic, I don't know if you know this or not, Nordic and Viking shit has been sort of co-opted by the Nazi alt-right. It has been. It's a thing.
I got a buddy who's actually Nordic, and he's way.
I've got a lot of friends who are actually Nordic and Nazi, and they are upset that the Nazi alt-right has sort of taken a lot of the iconography, and it's happened. So that's what happened.
The Nordics fought the Nazis. That doesn't
matter, Dan. I'm not asking for logic here. I'm just telling you what's going on. So this guy got in front of me, saw my truck, saw Valhalla, got in front of me, and with his arm, I'm not going to do it, starts Sieg Heiling out his window so that I could see it. And he's honking his horn, giving me the thumbs up. And the next day, I'm like, I got to get that thing off the back of my truck. If people are thinking,
I'll tell you, Bruce,
this is
something we talk about this. I have never in my life run into a single person like this. And I feel I feel like I run in pretty diverse, like I'm in a college town and like there's all kinds of types here. I just have never in my life ever run into a person that is a self-proclaimed like.
So never in your life. I'm talking your whole life, because it happened to me when I was young, and it's happening now.
I have seen the Klan before. One time.
No. But real life with your own eyes.
The Klan.
Yeah.
One time
when you were younger in Florida.
I was very young. We were on a drive. They tended to hang out by this national forest, and I remember we drove by them and they were doing like a rally. But this was like probably 1983.
How old were you?
Maybe 10, 12, something like that.
Jesus. Do you remember it? Like, you remember it? Like,
I just remember being like, what? Why are they dressed up like that? And I didn't understand. My dad explained it to me, and but I have never encountered in real life someone who would self-describe.
I have lots of times. It happened in the punk movement in New Jersey in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
There were Nazi skinheads straight up, and you would talk to a person who would literally have a swastika and be like, oh, what the fuck? And then people would fight each other, like, let's beat up the Nazi skinheads. It happened all the time. I was part of it. It was great beating up the Nazi skinheads. Although I was a bit of a wuss. I'd get a couple kicks in there and get the fuck out, But like, it's something I saw with my own eyes a lot. It's part of the subcultures that I would be in. There's always that fucking element. And that now I'm out here in Arizona as a full-grown man. I've seen demonstrations with Nazi flags.
Wow.
As early as recent as a couple of years ago.
That's amazing.
And it's horrifying. And you'll see those elements.
It is, but like, I see those people as just fringe nuts. Like, they don't have any real political power in this country.
I would disagree with you there. I'd say,
please. Our government's run by corporations. Like, every law is written by corporations. They completely own both parties. Okay. So
we'll see what happens in the future. That's all I'll say.
Well, I'm just saying,
keep an eye on the future.
I mean, who do they own? Like, who you can see who owns this country based on the political donations. Who donates the most money? What companies are in the tank for who?
Yeah.
And
I'm saying, though, those people are out there.
I would think on a small level. No, I'm not saying they're not out there. I'm saying I laugh at them, and I would look at them like fringe people on any other.
See, that's where me and you are different. You laugh at them and think that they're fringe.
And I'm a Jew. I should have more to fear than you.
You should be more like me. I think they're really dangerous. I think it's a really serious thing. Yeah, it's the swelling tide in this country, and it's something that needs to be looked at hard right now.
The owners of this country, the real owners of this country, want you to think that those crazy people are the biggest problem we have. The reason they want you to think that is because they don't want you looking at what they're doing, which is starting wars, green lighting people getting fucking bombed to smithereens right now in Palestine. And
I know, like, you brought up that point before, but couldn't those two things coexist at the same time? Like, the corporations doing that?
I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I didn't say these crazies aren't out there. I'm saying that the people who really own this country, the real owners, the people with the
Sure.
the oligarchs is what I would call them. They want us thinking the biggest problem we have is that someone's going to turn your kid trans, or that some neo-Nazi is going to come into your house and take you away. When the biggest problem we have is largely that our country has been utterly bought and paid for. And
do you think problems exist in a scale of the worst to the bottom, or can bad problems happen side to side?
Two things can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
I just think that there's no doubt in my mind, call me a tinfoil hat crazy person, there's no doubt in my mind that about 10, 12 years ago, there was a shift in, and I can prove this to you. I'll send you, because this has all been like, there's science, there's like data on this, right? In terms of what the major media are covering, what kind of stuff they're talking about on a day-to-day basis. And remember Occupy Wall Street?
Yeah, Dan, we talked about this before. I remember all this. I don't want to get into it too much.
No, but basically,
I mean,
my theory in a nutshell is around 2012, right around then, somewhere in there was a shift. And I think Occupy Wall Street scared them, because that was on the left. That was people on the left protesting.
I went to those, by the way, in New York City. It was unbelievable. It was so great.
If I were near there, I would have gone to that too.
It was fucking great.
Yes, I'm 100% on board. But then on the right, you had a similar thing called the Tea Party. Now you can laugh at them.
Remember that as well. Remember, I totally remember.
But part of what they were against was the bailouts, and they were sort of for this some of the same things as Occupy Wall Street, in the sense that they didn't like the fact that we had this crash and we were bailing out banks and stuff. And what that was is you had the left and the right kind of getting together on things. That is what scares the owners. And so look,
the Tea Party was mainly about going down to the border to prevent Mexicans coming in. Like out here, that was a lot.
That was definitely part of it, but no, it was also largely about the bailouts in 2008 and 9, when you had these massive banks, massive taxpayer bailouts after the crash. And that was part of it. Now, look, I'm not a Tea Party guy, but that was part of it. So my theory, just throwing it out there, is I think around 2011, 2012, there was a scare put into the owners, because they cannot have those two groups getting together. Even if you may hate the other group, you may think they're stupid on everything else, but if you agree with them on this thing, which is, we shouldn't be bailing out banks, and we should have an economy that more works for working class rather than.
No, I hear what you're saying, and I don't disagree with it.
I know, but that's my opinion. So that's why I kind of just laugh at that. It's this. I look at the neo-Nazi the same way I look at the crazies trying to convince everyone that they're trying to make your kids gay and trans and all that dumb shit. It's like,
I disagree.
It's just dumb shit.
I really disagree. I think it will come to pass. What we're seeing through right now with this rise in white nationalism is so scary.
They got you, man. You
think I'm a robot and they got me?
Let's see.
Let's see what happens in a couple of years.
Again, two things can be true at the same time. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. Yeah. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's not out there. It doesn't matter.
We only disagree on how bad we think the problem is, because you've told me before, like, Bruce, I don't think the alt-right and this Nazi movement it's a fringe thing. They're just stupid. It's not that bad. I am on the other end of the spectrum.
You've also seen it more than I have, to be fair. Like, in my life,
I've seen it with my own eyes, dude. Like, and I can't even imagine with the story that you talked about, where you physically see the Klan at 10 years old and you're a Jewish person.
Yeah.
Like, that would fucking rock my world and continue to shape my life.
I just know the total experience of my life at 50 years old is basically that is a fringe. There's 330 million people in the United States. You are talking about, I mean, like, let's take one issue. A good example would be abortion. So take abortion. Right now in the United States, only less than 15% of Americans believe that abortion should be illegal in all circumstances. It's a fringe, very small minority. They have an outsized influence right now on that issue for sure. But one of my point is, you have to consider if you're talking about national politics, those people, it's really hard for them to get any kind of foothold, because they're only 15% of the country. Now, they'll elect a guy here and there, but it all comes down to money. It really all comes down to money.
You're saying that 15% of all Americans believe in no abortion no matter what?
A total ban. It's less than 15. It's like 12 to 13, I think.
How
Yeah.
so? Okay, of
My
course
point
we'll
is
get into the whole thing about
it's a small
where that
number.
figure comes from. You think it's a small number? I kind of think it's probably
The majority of
bigger
America, the hefty majority, and this has been proven over and over again in elections, believe they want there to be some limits on it, like they have in Europe.
Yeah.
Some limits, but they want it to be
The abortion thing's complex because there's such a grayscale.
Yeah, of
right?
course.
Like
and
it's
of course,
really
it's the same way. Then you have another set of people who are in a small group who think it should be illegal up to the day you're born, right? That's a whole different group. So I think ultimately you have to look at the money. You have to look at how the money flows. And I still say these people that we're talking about, these Nazi whatevers, don't have a lot of political power in this country. It's a fringe. I'm not saying it's not a problem. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying, if you're asking me,
I'll agree with you. I don't think they have a lot of political power. 100%.
You're asking me what scares me the most about this country. It's the military-industrial complex. Number one, it's the fact that we are always war, constant state of war now for 25 years.
Okay? Yeah, the amount of money that the federal budget goes into military when we don't have health care,
and the deaths,
of horrible.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? For no fucking reason.
Guys walking around with no arms and legs who actually served in the military for a questionable war, and then we don't give a fuck about them when they come back.
And it's scary. I wrote a letter to the editor of my college newspaper a couple weeks ago, and it
really look at you.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a complicated issue, but I was invoking the Iraq War, talking about how a certain segment of our politicians lied us into a war that killed 5,000 Americans and about 200,000 Iraqis. Right? You know this, right? Yeah. So I just basically referred to that, and I said, this is not something we should want to do again. This was a failure. This is not something that people should be trying to bring back. There's a small segment of people who are really trying to bring back that group called the neocons. That's what they are. And they have mostly gone away because Iraq was a failure, and no one fucking agrees with Iraq anymore, right? But there's a group that kind of liked it. And so I wrote a letter to the editor saying, I know you kids weren't born. You were zero when Iraq happened, but there's 5,000 people, Americans died, and then 200,000 Iraqis. The editorial guy emails me back. He says, we'd like to print your letter, but we need proof of those numbers. I'm like,
so did you provide him with proof?
Bruce, all you gotta do is Google Iraq war deaths. It's everywhere. Everyone knows that. Everyone who followed it even a little knows. Yeah, it killed not a lot of 5,000 American soldiers.
But the problem with, I get you, but the problem with Googling anything these days, I've run across this. Like if I Google something and I want some information, right? This could be like pretty. Say I just want information on text.
If I said to you in a separate conversation, 200,000 Iraqi citizens or civilians died in the Iraq war over 20 years or however long it went on, or 15 years. You'd believe me. It's not like you'd say, I need proof of that. You're lying. You know what I mean?
Well, but okay, devil's advocate from a guy who's an editor,
right?
He's going to want to cover his ass.
I guess, but to me, the fact that you had a war that went on 15 years and had a lot of casualties.
Your point is valid as hell. I'm not saying
it's disturbing. The kids have been like, yes, people died. Let's say I'm wrong. Let's say I got the numbers off. Let's say it's 4,000 Americans instead of 5,000.
But the guy that edits the newspaper is going to get shit if he prints something.
I know, but this stuff is available everywhere. There's organizations that like the Red Cross. I mean, not the Red Cross, but there's organizations that figure this shit out. That know
it's true.
And
a figure like that, you should be able to Google and get different sources together to get a number.
Right? The fact that he's like. But the way the email, when he sent me the email, it wasn't.
Was it the tone of the email? That was the problem.
It wasn't.
Explain it to me, Dan. Because that's what
What I'm telling you is that the biggest domestic policy fuck up of our lifetime, foreign policy fuck up, not domestic. The Iraq War, to me, was the biggest one. We lied into a war.
So the guy, you could tell that the editor, you wrote this a passionate letter to the the editor, and the editor sent you back a letter.
He's a college kid,
and so you could just tell from the tone of the letter, like this guy was not agreeing with your point, and therefore just wanted to just say, "Hey, give me some figures."
Maybe
he's not going to run it. He's not going to run it.
No reasonable person is going to disagree that there were a lot of casualties in the Iraq War.
No, of course.
I think it's just not on the radar of these kids now, which is amazing to me, that the blob, the military industrial complex, the media has done such a good job over the years of sort of, oh yeah, yeah, we went to war.
Well, of course they buried that. That was yesterday's news.
And look, no one will say that it was a good idea. You're not going to find a person who's going to defend that anymore.
No.
But there are people like, well, I mean, we did the best we could. No, we didn't do the best we could.
That's American. That's being pathetic. American apathy. It's something we're real good at.
It's scary to me. This is a college kid at a very good college who, and again, I understand if he'd want to say, according to the international blah 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 blah, X amount of people died. That's fine if you want to do that. Then
I think that's all he's looking for.
Well, no, but he doesn't need me to give him that. What am I, the expert? I only know based on what I read.
He's lazy. Right? He doesn't want to. I guess. Does he want to like do the work? He's like, look, motherfucker.
Lazy, and in my opinion, a part of the result of a system that has created a generation now who. It's scary. I always thought Gen Z was good, and that's scary to me. That you'd have a Gen Z push back even a little on the idea that the Iraq War was terrible. I mean, that's
so that's the main point you're trying to make. You're getting
it felt like he was pushing back a little bit. It was like, well, I mean, and it's like, well, dude. Anyway, it was just disturbing to me. I was
I mean, it's just like the same thing. And when I have a lot of faith in Gen Z. I'm a big fucking fan of Gen Z.
Yeah, in general I do, but
I really am.
It took a hit with this. But granted, this is an Ivy League school. This is a different group. These are the elites. These are the elites.
Was this Dartmouth?
Yes. These are the elites. So I
mean, look, the guys that go to the elite. Did you watch that movie Saltburn yet?
No. You gotta text it to me. I forgot.
Yeah. So I know the end of this podcast took a serious turn, but it's always good because it's always a
we don't just complain, Bruce. We have a lot.
We're much deeper than that. Although complaining is more fun. But the good thing about me and Dan is that we're able to have these conversations, and it's authentic. You're always going to get authenticity from me and Dan.
Yes. Oh,
you know what I mean?
Unfortunately, I'm not able to not be authentic, which is hurting me.
I mean, I just sometimes I'm not quick to the thought of thinking about how to respond to things. Like that's my whole thing. Like I'll get into an argument with someone in the grocery store. And then 3 days later in the shower, I come up with a great comeback.
Yeah. Like
why didn't I think of that?
The Jerk Store, George Costanza.
Yeah, you are good at it, Dan. Yeah. You're good at it. Like
I'm good at it with certain topics. Like if you hit me on stuff like this political cultural stuff where we have these tribes and we have this weird thing where we hate our neighbor and fuck our neighbor because he likes this politician we don't like. When the real enemy is not our neighbor, it's the elites who own this country. So but I'm good with that. But you get me on a lot of shit, and I'm stupid. But but I agree.
I will absolutely admit, I hate my neighbor when it comes to some shit. I hate him.
I actually have a neighbor who with the Ukraine flag was just a stereotype, just total stereotype, and he's a dick. Aside from all this, he's actually a dick. I've met him.
Yeah.
Right. And even so, I just laugh at him because it's again, I try to keep my focus on really three things. This is my North Star when it comes to anything with news, war, wages, healthcare. Those three things. Those are my three things.
Yeah, those are good.
That's what I stick with because that hits everybody. War hits everybody because it's a huge money commitment and because people die. And then wages and healthcare, the other two. Those are my three.
What I've been doing lately is I got clean and sober ages ago, and part of that was going to therapy. And I think everybody should. I think therapy is so fucking.
Yes, I did too.
I mean, especially when it comes to men, white men should be in fucking therapy.
So black dudes. What are you trying to say? I have some black buddies who definitely need therapy.
That's true. I mean, but it's problematic, right? So when it comes to stuff like this, and I
think any human being benefits.
Right. But here's the thing. So I find myself feeling when you get clean and sober, you have to be real honest with yourself. It's one of the things that you do. You have to come up with your own, look inward and find out where your own defects of character are and work through them. It's a very good, the 12 steps I will say are great, even when you're not an addict. It's a good exercise to run through to become a better human being, right? And a lot of it is this laser-like focus on yourself to point out, work through your shit, right? So lately I've been finding myself like if I start to like hate this guy, or there's like, I'm like looking at the guy with the grunt style t-shirt and I'm fucking, working out. I'm like, I hate this motherfucker. Then I start to think, okay, Bruce, run an exercise. Like, talk to him. What do you think maybe he's got going on in his life? And I will be dead ass honest. What I'm working with lately on myself, because I'm always a work in progress, Dan. I'm always trying to keep myself accountable and things like this. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll talk with this guy, give this person a chance, or find out what's going on. So that's something that is going on in my own personal life within the past couple of weeks. Hey, Bruce, why don't you try to dial it back a little bit and see what is going on with these people and, whatever.
I'm not able to do that.
Yeah,
the difference is I don't want.
Dan, have you gone to therapy, Dan? Have you done therapy?
I have. Not in a while.
When?
I went through a really bad time in my life around when I was 27, 8, like late 20s.
That's a rough time. I know what you're talking about.
I had to figure out a lot of shit at that point. But,
did you pay to go to therapy?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. See,
yeah.
Going to jail is good because they give you free therapy.
No jail for the Heeb. But yeah, I mean, it's stereotype. Like I'm a Jew. What do we have? What are we known for? Mental illness. That's our fucking calling.
Yeah, we both listened to a lot of Howard Stern growing up, and boy, it is interesting listening to him and his, therapy and stuff like this. But,
no, I'm a huge believer in that too. But in terms of, I'm such an introvert that like I'm not going to talk to people anyway. But
I love talking to people. I really, and Ro hates it. Like I talk to strangers. I'm good at it, dude. I will go up to a stranger in a grocery store. Like, swear to God, like they're picking up broccoli, and I'm like, and I kind of like think to myself, like I would be good at maybe stand-up comedy or something at one point, but I know that's not true. But sort of in my own head, I'd like to think that I like to mix it up with people. So I see someone picking up broccoli, and I'm like, that one doesn't look too good. I'd stay away from that one. And I just have these little fun conversations that are lighthearted, whatever. And I walk away thinking that was a good. And then sometimes I walk away thinking, well, that was not my best work. You know what I mean? Like
I don't talk to a soul unless I have to. I don't have social skills. I'm an introvert, and that's that.
I like talking to people.
No, you're good at it. I mean, you're an extrovert. I'm an introvert. I'm the opposite of you.
Are you a definite introvert, like for real?
Yes.
I am, dude. I am.
If I have to socialize, it's when I'm done, it feels like I just had a workout. It's exhausting to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I get off on it, dude. That's why when I go to Wasteland, I'm dancing on stage, I'm performing. I'm doing all this
when I
shit.
see you in 2 weeks, it's 2 weeks away, man. When I see you.
That's right. Dan is coming to visit me in Phoenix for a very short amount of time. Yes. He's got a layover. I'm going to pick him up in my car
and some schmear, and
going to pick him up in my car, and we're going to go be annoyed together because that's going to be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah. We love talking and hearing about what annoyed the person that week, but we're going to get some shared annoying experience. And
shared annoying.
You know what? I'm going to bring you to a place where
my trip will have no shortage.
Oh, dude, you're going to be this trip. I've got people talking about your trip on Facebook. He's going to run into kids. You can't get away from kids. What he should have done is picked a vacation with 100% kid-free guarantee, which is what Wasteland Weekend is. Again,
the problem with those places is there's not many of them, and they don't tend to be things I want to do.
I sent you this one place. It was like sort of like a spa, like, right? And it was
that's something spa. I could see doing. But we like kind of different. We like wildlife and stuff like that. Galapagos and now Baja, California.
I've looked into these child-free spas. When you look into spas, it's like, oh, there's child-free, but then it's like it's got like a hint of like swinger action.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want to come out and say that, but that's exactly.
Well, look, I don't want to kink shame at all.
No,
dude.
I don't give a shit what they do. That's not my thing. Like, when I go on vacation, I want to go and I want to see whales, or I want to see manatees, or I want to see dolphins, or I want to see, marine iguanas or whatever. And it is what it is. I just I do my best to mitigate. There's only 100 people on this trip. We're running over, but we're
running over. Got to cut the
short. Next Sunday. That will be my pre-trip. We'll talk about. I'm going to go through. Go through the itinerary. We'll talk about where I'm going to deal with the kids, or I'm not going to deal with the kids. And
do you think we had a good show? This show?
It's good. So we're gonna wrap her up.
You gonna wrap
And,
it up?
I'm gonna wrap it. We're gonna wrap it up. Do it live. Wrap it up.
Fuck it.
Fuck it. But yeah, it was good. I hope everyone has a nice week. And then the next weekend is my pre-vacation.
Oh, I can't
show.
wait.
We will do the itinerary. We will discuss, and we will speculate on children and boomers.
Yes.
And all such things.
And so thank you once again for listening to the Heeb Goy show. Like and subscribe or not.
And tell a friend or not.
Or not.
All right. See you guys.
Later.